Hi everyone, my name is Jennifer Bottini and my partner Olivia and myself will be going over the progression of one of the next generation science standards for kindergarten through 5th grade. I will be progressing the standard for kindergarten through 2nd and Olivia will be progressing the standard for 3rd through 5th. The standard we chose to review through the grades is ESS1, the Earth's place in the universe. Well, what does this mean? Through each grade, the meaning of the standard changes a little bit. However, the core concept remains, and this core concept is the study of the Earth and other planets in our solar system, as well as making observations of the sun, moon, stars throughout the year as evidence that Earth events happen both quickly and others very slowly. So I will begin with kindergarten standard KESS1, which states that students will learn to make observations to determine the effect of sunlight on Earth's surface and how sun transforms our environment and weather throughout the year. The standard for kindergarten ESS1 teaches kindergarteners that weather changes are both long and short term and occur throughout the day from day to day. Students also learn about air and that it is a non-living substance that surrounds Earth, and wind is air that is moving with force. Activities include observing these different weather patterns for the purpose of documenting short-term weather changes. Here I will be reviewing how the standard may look in a kindergarten classroom, being taught along with technology, English language arts, and cross-cutting math concepts. So the main concepts being taught are weather changes, and while we won't go into the specific scientific reason for the seasons changing until grade 6 or 7, we will focus on observing these changing weather patterns. Students should know when the weather changes and be able to associate winter to cooler weather and summer to warmer weather. Students will observe and record local weather patterns and be able to make future pattern predictions based on weather we've had previously. The total participation technique for this lesson is think, pair, share. As once students have observed enough weather patterns to make a prediction, they will share with their partners what they wrote in their journals and why. The math connection is the bar graph students will use to document their weather patterns, while the English language arts connection is a book to be read to the class titled A Book of Seasons by Alice and Martin Provenson. Now we will see how this standard evolves from kindergarten into 1st grade. The standard for 1st grade 1 ESS1 reads that students will use observations of the sun, moon, and stars to describe patterns. These patterns in the natural world can be observed and they can be used to describe phenomenon and used as evidence. So, essentially, students are learning to make predictions in this grade, 1st grade, based on prior observations of the natural world, such as the phases of the moon and the changes of weather based on seasonal patterns. Now we're going to take a look at how this might look in a typical 1st grade classroom. And a 1st grade lesson targeting this standard includes making observations of the sun and moon and answering questions such as, what patterns does the sun and moon make? Students can wear glasses to observe how the sun changes position in the sky. Shadow measurements can be made as evidence of the sun's moving position in the sky. The total participation technique being incorporated is number 4, chalkboard splash. After measuring the sun's position and movement, the teacher can ask the class yes or no questions, to which the students will write their answers on their individual boards, holding it up when finished. So we're going to move forward to 2nd grade, and the standard changes focus a little bit to incorporate time. Students are going to be learning how events in the natural world can happen both very, very slowly and very, very quickly. Examples of such events that happen quickly would be volcanic eruptions and earthquakes, while air and water erosion both occur very slowly. The question being asked to 2nd graders in this lesson is, how could wind possibly create changes in rock and land? The concept being taught here is how some Earth events happen quickly while others happen very slowly. Students will get with their groups and fill a Cool Whip container with kinetic sand before flipping it over and dumping it into a larger container so the sand holds its rectangular shape. Students will then take turns blowing with a straw into the sand to make changes in its formation. Each student is allowed about 5 or 6 blows and will then document any changes in the formation of sand after blowing on it. The total participation technique used with this activity is number 18, networking sessions. And students will answer the teacher's prompts such as which one do you think creates larger changes over a period of time? Air or water? And why do you think this way? The student can jot down their answers and find a peer in class to which they haven't spoken with yet today and discuss their responses. The connection to math will be to be able to make weather observations, particularly with wind, but also with water, using a wind gauge data chart, which can be brought up right here. Olivia will now go into the progression of the standard into 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade.